So, what are the benefits that are payable under a income protection plan then, and potentially any limitations to these plans? Well, we've kind of touched on this already, that income protection plans will prevent an insured person from being better off by being at work. Individual, privately bought income protection plans see their benefits paid gross in the event of a claim. So the cap is generally 50 to 60% of your gross income. In other words, to make sure that whilst you're not paying any tax, that you're not better off. The limit operates regardless of a nominal benefit. In other words, if you have this in place, a maximum of say 60% of your gross income, and you reach the deferred period of 3 months and your employer says, oh, I'll carry on paying you for another 3 months, you can't claim on your insurance. So you can't be better off essentially in any way, shape or form by being off sick than you would be by continuing to work. Essentially, that's the bottom line here. Now that does differ from group or occupational schemes, which can work slightly differently. So we touched on executive income protection plans a little bit earlier, and that covers a multiple of sins really. But any income protection policy bought by the employer and for the employee's benefits will see its benefits paid to the employer if the employee is off sick. So essentially, the money doesn't go directly to you, it goes to your boss. And your boss needs to pay that to you, of course, in line with all the rules and regulations of the plan. But he will essentially use that money to carry on paying you your salary, essentially. So you'll carry on paying tax and national insurance on the continued income that you're getting indirectly from your firm's income protection plan. So that's can have its advantages actually, because you're still earning money for pension contributions, etc. But the general idea with these is that we need to make sure that we understand benefits paid straight to you, individual plans tax-free, benefits paid via your employer, group or occupational schemes. They will then essentially be passed on to you through a normal payroll, and you'll have to pay tax and national insurance on it. So state benefits always need to be taken into account, or at least considered, when thinking about the maximum insurance amount that you're going to take, because we've got essentially a continued income element that could come from DWP, this state. So income protection benefits need to factor these in, because again, you cannot go over the maximum and be better off. So essentially, it's important for a discussion to be held between the advisor and the insured to ensure that everybody's singing on the same hymn sheet as to whether we're going to include them or not. Some people don't claim state benefits. The stigmatism of it stops them from claiming it, or they can't be bothered, generally speaking. So in some cases, you may be able to exclude them from your calculations and insure more through the policy that you're recommending. So generally speaking, the normal end age for a particular policy is going to be linked to state retirement age, particularly if you're going to work yourself until state retirement age. But that can be really expensive. And certainly if you want to reduce the cost of your plan, one of the most effective things for you to do is to bring forward the end date of that particular policy. You're far more likely to be off work sick for an extended period of time when age 60 plus than you are when you're age 40. So as soon as you bring that retirement date, the end date of your plan essentially forward, you start to see the premiums fall quite quickly. So if you arrange one till you're 55 rather than 66, the state pension age, you'd expect to see a massive reduction in the amount of actual premiums that you'll need to pay. The downside, of course, is if you end up claiming never to return to work, you wish you did it till state pension age. So policyholders always need to consider the later life needs and when the mortgage will be repaid and what actually their expenses might be in later life and later working life, I'm talking about here really, to work out whether it's worth them insuring all the way to 66 in the first place anyway. So a link to the expected retirement age is often most prudent, and as soon as you start having a compromised budget, that's one of the gifts, that's one of the things that's likely to be changed. You're likely to see this brought forward.